J. Richard Hackman and Greg R. Oldham developed the job characteristics theory in 1975. They expanded the theory in 1980. The theory has its roots in Frederick Herzberg's two-factor theory of motivation. Hackman and Oldham's theory focuses on identifying what job conditions motivate individual employees. They do not believe it is possible to create motivation if the job is monotonous and boring for the individual employee. Core job characteristics are the starting point of the theory. The theory is based on the assumption that motivation can be based solely on how the job is structured for the individual employee. Hackman and Oldham believe the following 5 factors determine whether a job is motivational. Skill variety is the degree to which a job requires a variety of different activities and involves the use of a number of different skills and talents by the employee. Jobs that are high in skill variety are seen by employees as more challenging and give employees a greater sense of competence. An assistant with high skill variety may have to perform many different tasks such as travel arrangements, schedule meetings, prepare PowerPoints for speeches, prepare agendas for meetings, write reports, participate in meetings, etc. Task identity is the degree to which a job requires completion of a whole, identifiable piece of work. The employee performs the entire job from start to finish with a visible outcome. A cabinet maker will have a high task identity if he does everything related to making all the furniture for a new dining room. It involves speaking with the customer, drawing drafts for the customer, selecting the materials, producing handmade furniture, and maybe making alterations at the customer's request. Task significance is the degree to which the job has a substantial impact on the lives of other people. Employees must believe they are doing something important in their organization or society, or both. The job of a surgeon is important to society, and they understand the importance of their work to society. Autonomy is the degree to which the job provides substantial freedom and independence to the individual in scheduling the work and in determining the procedures to be used in doing the work. It is considered fundamental in building a sense of responsibility in employees. A salesperson is considered to be highly autonomous when he schedules his own workday and decides on the most effective approach to use for each customer without supervision. Feedback from the job is the degree to which the individual is informed about the effectiveness of his performance. Feedback can come directly from the job itself, or it can be provided by management or other employees. A salesperson receives information directly from the customers and through the monetary value of his sales. Management should also give feedback about his performance. The theory states that these core job characteristics have important effects on the critical psychological state of the individual employee, also known as the motivation condition of the employee. There are 3 psychological states. The first state is experienced meaningfulness of the work. The employee gets this experience the greater the demands are on his various skills, the easier he identifies the task, and when the task is of high importance to those around him or to society. The experience of meaningful work relates directly to the first three factors in core job characteristics. Skill variety, task identity, and task significance together contribute to an employee's ability to have experienced the meaningfulness of the work. The second state is experienced responsibility for outcomes of the work. The employee experiences responsibility for his own work when he is given the freedom to perform the task his way. The experience of responsibility for outcomes of the work relates directly to the fourth factor in core job characteristics. Jobs that provide a great deal of autonomy are said to contribute to an employee's experienced the responsibility for outcomes of the work. The third state is knowledge of the actual results of the work activities. The employee can only get knowledge of the results of his work by gathering information. Knowledge of the actual results of the work activities relates directly to the fifth factor in core job characteristics. Job feedback is said to give an employee knowledge of the actual results of the work activities. The job characteristics model indicates that three critical psychological states affect various personal and work outcomes. The model identifies four work-related conditions which are affected by the three critical psychological states. The higher the experienced meaningfulness of work, experienced responsibility for the outcomes of work, and the knowledge of the actual results of the work activities, the more positive the four personal and work-related outcomes will be. The first of the four conditions is internal work motivation. This is high when the employee feels that the work is so important and challenging that he can motivate himself. The second is satisfaction with the work. This is high when the employee feels comfortable in the workplace in relation to management and other employees. The third is absenteeism and turnover. These two factors are low when employees are very satisfied with their work and the workplace as a whole. No one calls in sick and no one wants a new job. The last of the four conditions is quality work performance. This is high when the employee is constantly trying to improve his efforts towards delivery of flawless tasks. The theory describes a cause-effect chain from job characteristics through the psychological states to effects on employee attitudes and behavior. In short, the theory shows that by creating the right job for the employees, the management achieves highly motivated employees. Changing an existing job in a positive direction is called job enrichment. Does the model apply to every employee? Although many employees desire the additional challenge and responsibility associated with performing enriched jobs, others may not. In 1980, Hackman and Oldham recognized that not every employee wants a job containing high levels of the 5 core job characteristics. Hackman and Oldham incorporated this conclusion into the model. They identified 3 moderators that affect how employees respond to job enrichment. We shall now review the 3 moderators. The first is employee growth needs strength. It is the degree to which an individual desires the opportunity for self-direction, learning, and personal accomplishment at work. This concept is essentially the same as Frederick Herzberg's motivation factors and Abraham Maslow's esteem and self-actualization needs. The second moderator is knowledge and skill, also sometimes called capabilities. Employees whose capabilities fit the demands of enriched jobs are predicted to feel good about the job and perform well. Those who are inadequate or feel inadequate in this regard are likely to experience frustration, stress, and job dissatisfaction. Context satisfaction is the third and the last of the moderators. Context satisfaction is the degree to which employees are satisfied with various aspects of their job, such as salary, quality of supervision, relationship with supervisors and co-workers, and working conditions. Contextual satisfaction is similar to Herzberg's hygiene factors. These three moderators have an impact on the relationship between core job characteristics, critical psychological states, and ultimately personal and work outcomes. Therefore, leaders should consider the moderators when attempting to enrich jobs. The big question a leader has to ask himself is, can and will the employee perform an enriched job? Now we will review a profession as an example using the model. The example is a paramedic who works on an ambulance in a big city. No day is the same. There is variation in the work process and thereby the demands for different skills. The task identity is clear. The employee completes a whole piece of work. The patient is picked up and delivered to the hospital. The task is of great significance to the individual being helped, and the paramedic is aware of this. There is a clear sense of the meaningfulness of the work. In a car crash with several injured persons, the paramedic must autonomously evaluate the situation and decide whom to rescue first and how. The paramedic experiences a great sense of responsibility. There is direct feedback in the job from the patient, the relatives of the patient, and the hospital. This feedback gives the paramedic an instant knowledge about the results of the work activities. If 5 factors in core job characteristics motivate the paramedic, then the 3 critical psychological states are fulfilled. If this is correct, you will see this in the 4 work-related conditions. He is driven by a professional pride and he comes to work every day with a mission to do a better job than yesterday. If management doesn't get these reactions, they have to look at the moderators. Does the paramedic want to achieve personal accomplishment at work? Do his capabilities fit the demands? Is he satisfied with the various aspects of the job, such as salary, quality of supervision, relationship with supervisors and co-workers, and working conditions? An example using the model in reverse. Large numbers of employees are absent due to illness in the firm. The opposite of low absenteeism. You as management must look at core job characteristics. Does the content of the job provide too little or too much challenge for the employees? You must also look at the 3 moderators. It is your responsibility to create job content that fulfills the needs of the employees. Now we shall review a criticism of the model. Some of the criticism is actually taken into account in the moderators. The model recognizes that employees have different needs and that not all employees want to fulfill their needs at work. It is very difficult to know exactly what motivates the individual employee. This requires an individual treatment of employees. This is a very time-consuming process. It is difficult to transfer the model to a team or group of employees. Finally, it must be mentioned that the model provides a solid overview of motivation of employees through job enrichment.